I think problems in this country is that we have a reluctant criminal court of appeal to overturn convictions. And the Criminal Cases Review Commission for many years have not been fit for purpose. So if you had been wrongly convicted in this country, you had a huge problem getting that conviction overturned. And that's been going on since really the Criminal Court of Appeal was set up. It's a kind of new appellate system compared to civil jurisdiction. It was set up in 1907 on the back of a major miscarriage of justice, in fact. But since it's set up, there's been a continuous reluctance, predominantly by the judges, to go behind the jury's verdict, and they focus quite a lot on the finality of a trial and not wanting to reopen things. And so there's been a continuous barrier there when you have a wrongful conviction. And so it's not simply identifying where there has been a wrongful conviction. I think you have to shout about it. You have to shout about it. As Paddy Hill, Birmingham 6 once said, that he needed to win the public battle before he could win the legal battle. He needed to convince society that something had gone wrong in his conviction, or the convictions of the Birmingham 6 before they could overturn it. Remembering, of course, that they were refused, I think, twice by the Court of Appeal before eventually it was overturned. So it's a matter of getting the information out there. Now, with Lucy Letby, it's been a very different environment. A lot of people want to know about it. A lot of people are interested in it. But Lucy Letby is not the first time I've done this. I've done it before in other cases, but in fact, it's very hard to get the media engaged. Certainly, historically, it's been quite hard to do so. I think in the last 10 years, things have changed and the media have become much more interested in that sort of true crime stuff. But Lucy hasn't been the only one. It wasn't my first. Michael Stone, who's another wrongful conviction. I've been working on. I've made documentaries on Michael Stone for the last 20 years.
Yes, it's an ongoing thing, and it's interesting because it's kind of news to me that the appeal courts are reluctant that we're we're pushing on a door that's not actually ajar.
Yeah, I've often said that if you are innocent and in prison, I'd rather be in America than in the UK because you've got a much better appellate system over there than you do in this country, albeit America has its own problems, of which there are many. But when it comes to going to the Court of Appeal and trying to overturn it, turn a conviction in this country, it is immensely difficult.
I've met people, that I don't know whether they're innocent or not, right? But I meet people because I work in prisons and they say, I'm innocent, I shouldn't be here, or, whatever. And the difficulty for me is, of course, I can't say whether a person's just in denial or whether they're truly innocent. That isn't what I'm interested in. What I'm interested in is, well, there's something here that you haven't been heard for. There's something here that hasn't been looked at. And if we just ignore you, we can never find the truth. We can never bring you face to face with either the acceptance that you are actually in this position and actually something did happen and you do have accountability, or that actually maybe you didn't do it. There are lots of... we've got so many people on remand, haven't we, who may be innocent. It's a huge problem.
It is a massive problem. And, having worked on innocence cases now for over 20 years, those that are genuinely innocent stand out. And, if you take, for example, Michael Stone, who was convicted of the Chillingdon murders back in the early 2000s, he rings me nearly every day. And he has his papers, of which there are hundreds, multiple thousands of pages, in his cell. where he's looking through those pages saying, look, I found
Mm.
something here. Why don't we forensically test this? Why don't we forensic test that? Someone who is guilty doesn't demand a forensic test of an exhibit to show that he's innocent. So they do stand out. And with Lucy Letby, it's a different type of case. With Lucy Letby, once you open up the doors of what's happened here and how this trial was run and how she was convicted, and you realize how could anyone possibly be convicted on the basis of the evidence that's been presented before the jury. Now we have that fresh evidence to say that those experts are simply wrong, and that in fact Lucy Letby is innocent.